Over-the-top action and gun kata are things that many, including myself, love and crave. From John Wick to John Woo to John McClane. Wow, there are a lot of action heroes named John. What is up with that? Anyway, they all do insane maneuvers and death-defying stunts. This is the essence that makes up My Friend Pedro. They took every action hero that exists, blended them up, and shotgunned it using an actual shotgun. But does that make the game any good? Does the over-the-top action and crazy moves lend itself to the game, or does it just hold back? Let's get into the review and find out. What is happening? Mattmade here, bringing you my review of My Friend Pedro on Nintendo Switch. The story of My Friend Pedro, if you can even call it that, is minimal and only works to give you a reason to mow down everyone in your path. You wake up in the back of a butcher shop with no memories of how you got there or who you are. Your good friend Pedro, who's apparently a sentient banana, fills you in on the details and the controls. Then off you go, killing en masse. That's as much setup and plot that the game provides right up until the not so surprising twist at the end. It does its job giving you a reason to slaughter everyone in your way, but has zero emotional attachment to the character. I think John Wick has spoiled us with his relatable gun kata-ing dog-loving assassin. The gameplay is similar to a twin-stick shooter. When you have one gun, you can use the right stick to point at an enemy and lock onto them. And once you get two guns, you can split the reticle and aim at two different people to take them out more efficiently. The game has many mechanics and quite a few weapons, allowing you to mix up your gameplay and find the best weapon for every situation. Aside from being able to split the reticle when you have two guns, you can dodge bullets, slow down time, duck behind objects, and certain guns even have an alt fire when you can only pick up one of them. The bullet dodge works most of the time. There are times right after you jump that you can't dodge and can take some serious damage because of it. On top of that, you can't dodge explosions or dodge forever. This makes it very situational and at times not even worth using, as you can kill them far quicker without it. Also, when you're dodging and trying to shoot, you'll spray bullets everywhere, mostly in the opposite direction of the person you're trying to hit. The slow-mo was the thing that really sold me on the game. My thought process was, you're telling me I can do flips and rolls in the air while killing fools in slow motion, just like Neo? Sign me up. However, the implementation of the mechanic left a lot to be desired. Halfway through the game, I completely stopped using it and found it to be more of a nuisance than a fun tool at my disposal. Not only do you still get hit by bullets and take damage, but it doesn't even add much to your score. I found myself using it only during certain parts where I needed a second to think, or in trying to get past an obstacle that was moving quicker. You also have a role that you can perform to go underneath tables and to get in events. This role also happens every single time you jump from a high platform or hold down forward and duck. While in this role, you're completely vulnerable and cannot dodge bullets. This one mechanic has led to many a death and caused a lot of headaches. Knowing My Friend Pedro, you get points from killing enemies and taking them out in crazy fashions and net you more points. Dodge kills, slow-mo kills, split kills, ricochet kills, there are many ways to rack up points. There's also a multiplier that you're trying to keep up throughout the level, and by killing enemies you can increase your multiplier and your score. Now this is where the game starts to fall apart. The scoring system makes no sense. You can feel like you're a badass tearing through the level just to get to the end and get a C. Conversely, you can feel like you're being tripped up and going through the stage slowly only to get to the end and get an A. There was no consistency to the scoring system at all. In one stage I had even died, so I could not get the no death bonus, and I still got an A for the level. It's pretty frustrating, especially when you're trying to get a high score. Each level isn't very long if you're playing well. However, one misstep can turn things into a slog and get a bit rough. Whether that's missing a jump or a hook, or more commonly missing the item that can make taking out a room easier. As you progress through the game, the levels get far more complex and actually do a bit of puzzle solving. None of which is difficult, but it really trips up the flow of the game. You aren't running around taking out baddies, but instead, you're shooting at a steel plate in order to make a bullet ricochet into a switch so it flips. It's a bit odd. You go through different vistas and sections as you kill your way through the game, some of which are interesting, while others, like Pedro's world, are psychedelic and trippy. The backdrops are plain and pretty basic all in all. You have your sewer stages, you have your skyscraper stages, you even have your tried and true basic building stages. They do their jobs and are there so the game doesn't look too monotonous, which it barely manages to do. But the vistas were not where this game prided itself on or focused. The dialogue of the game is fun and weird. Pedro is witty and interesting, while the bosses are just total dicks. The main character unfortunately suffers from silent protagonist syndrome. He does not say a word and has no redeeming qualities, other than the fact that he's a very efficient killing machine. Upon entering each level, Pedro will comment on what the area is and who the enemies are. At one point in the game, Pedro takes a shot at gamers because we allegedly play too many violent games and have become desensitized to violence. Even outside of the cutscenes, the world is built by little nuances and props. In that same section, you will see enemies playing an arcade machine with My Friend Pedro on it, which was pretty cute. All in all, My Friend Pedro is a fun game to pick up and play every now and then, even with its issues. The story is bare bones, some of the mechanics get old real fast, and the main character is as relatable as a brick wall. However, the game manages to be fun when you go in with tempered expectations. You can really cut loose and live out your John Woo fantasies in this odd post-apocalyptic world with sentient bananas. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on the game. Have you played it? Did it interest you? Let me know in the comment section down below. And don't forget, if you enjoyed the video, strike that like button. This is Mattmade, and I'll see you in the next video.